You pull up in something like this, the G-Wagon, and you know what it signifies to the world? That you've made it in life. It's something about this Mercedes G-Wagon that was made famous by Hollywood celebrities and some of the richest people in the world, and that status of this car has remained with it ever since. This German machine with its military roots, introduced back in the 70s after all these years, still turns heads and is still one of the most desirable SUVs out there. This 2020 Mercedes G63 AMG doesn't really need any more attention than it already gets, but with this matte olive green finish, it's quite the looker. This intense looking G63 AMG is made even meaner by this guard up front that can ram through just about anything. Just like the Jeep Wrangler, Mercedes hasn't really messed with the design of this that much. The front end is mostly the same with the circular headlights. It's a little bit rounder and more modernized for its latest iteration. One really unique thing about the G63 is that your hazard lights are on top by the hood. With some kind of cars, they do really have timeless designs, and this one's no different. Why change anything with the boxy look if it's already perfect? To go along with this beast of a machine, you got these really large wheels with this very red brake caliper and the drilled rotors. If you didn't know any better, you would think that this is a sports SUV. There's nothing aerodynamic about the design of this G63, but boy is it fast. This 4-liter biturbo V8 pumps out 577 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. That AMG engine is ultimately what makes this G63 so special. This trim right here is a unique design element that wraps all the way around the top of the SUV, much like a headband. Mercedes wasn't messing around when they built this thing. These doors are heavy and real substance. It takes a little bit of muscle to pull this. In the back, you have decent room, but probably not as spacious as you might think from the outside. Just like it requires muscle to open it, you need to put some muscle into it when you close it, otherwise it won't close all the way shut. And that noise you heard when you shut the door, that sound reverberates in this parking garage. Now that's the sound of a $200,000 G63. With a lot of cars that are really expensive, sometimes you might wonder, what are you actually paying for? With this one, there's no question. It might be expensive, but this thing oozes class, prestige, and the ultimate in luxury. Not only is the G63 extremely luxurious, it's also a highly capable off-roader. Look at this crazy amount of ground clearance this thing has. Sadly, all of those off-roading capabilities that this G63 comes with are used by exactly 0 owners of this beast. The best part about this G63 is the side exhaust. And that makes starting up this car so amazing because you just leave the door open and start the engine. I think you'll agree that when it comes to AMGs, that's about as good as it gets. The running board that comes with the G63 is actually needed because otherwise it's a little bit too high off the ground. To step inside, you do need to use the running board. Mercedes did an outstanding job with the interior of this car. It's so refined and so nice. On the outside, it looks like a rugged military vehicle, but on the inside, it's bathed in luxury. These are excellent Mercedes AMG seats. Nice stitching, along with an AMG badge. Along with the luxury, it's also got all the technology. It's got 2 really nice high-resolution displays, cool graphic of the car, along with ambient lighting surrounding the screen. Wish it was touchscreen. Unfortunately, it's not. You use this touchpad to change things on the screen on the menus. You have all of your standard options. This is kind of cool. You can change the dash layout and configuration. The sport design has a nice red glow on the tack. I like that you can customize all aspects of the display. It's a Mercedes, so you must have all of your massage options. No other vehicle in the world will give you a 577 horsepower engine that's a true off-roader, that's got this amount of luxury and 5 different massaging options. The ambient lighting options are really cool. Check out how the color's changing around the screen. With the right kind of music at night, you could turn the inside of the G-Wagon into a club. Did Mercedes go way above and beyond with this G63? Absolutely yes. As I've been sitting there showing you all the features of this car, I'm happy to report that the massaging seats work extremely well. In fact, I'll probably take a little 5-minute break right about now. There's no mistaking this for German precision engineering. These AC vents have an interesting design, kind of like a jet engine turbine look. You can tell by the outside of this G63 that there's a lot of room in here, very spacious, lots of headroom, really comfortable. The door panels also have really nice stitching, and the seat heater button is also on the door panel for the rear passengers. Mercedes somehow managed to squeeze everything into this G-Wagon. Comfort, luxury, speed, off-roading, all of it in one package. With all that this G-Wagon has to offer, I think the price tag is justified. The steering wheel is really nice, solid feel with paddle shifters. I really like the fact that Mercedes decided to keep some of it old school, like these door handles. These have a very mechanical feel to them, and I love that. And these doors aren't light either, so you feel the weight and solidness of it. And then when you close the door, you get a nice noise as well. The door locks make such a loud racket that they might scare your passengers. The first time you hear it, it's a little shocking. You see a massive Mercedes logo when you open and close the door. Really cool. As you'd expect, as soon as you start driving, you hear this constant V8 rumble. And the fact that you're sitting right on top of those tailpipes makes it even better because you hear it more. But it's not overly loud or intrusive. It's actually on the quiet side until you step on it. And with a 577 horsepower V8, of course, you can't help yourself but stomp on the throttle. This is so quick. And that noise. It'll be a sad day when V8s like this completely disappear. And I sure hope that doesn't happen. The older G-Wagons that Mercedes used to make are not nearly as comfortable as what this one is. This is really S-Class levels of luxury, a really comfortable, cushy ride, good insulation. But the surprising thing is that there is some wind noise that gets in. I think maybe the insulation or weather stripping around the window seals aren't quite as good as what it could be. That sound. And you know what? It doesn't handle that bad for being this big. Oh. That is some monstrous speed for something this big. It's quiet when you need it to be, but roars to life when you want some excitement out of this thing. Really impressive. You can use the paddle shifters on this thing to downshift, and it's really quick with the 9-speed. That is a lot of gears to go through though. And one really weird thing that just happened is it has lane change assist on. It does a real big jerk where you think you're about to hit something and it twists the steering wheel and slams on the brakes. I don't think that feature is designed well at all. Plenty of visibility, very airy and roomy, perfect for hauling around people, and you have plenty of power when you need it. If you've seen any of the videos on my channel, you know how much I love V8s, you know how much I love power. Every SUV should come with a twin turbo V8. This one with 577 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. Every second of driving this G63 is absolutely thrilling. When it comes to driving around giant tanks like this, it doesn't get any more fun than this G63 AMG. At full throttle, this thing absolutely screams. Oh man. 5,800 pounds. That is crazy. Leave it to AMG to figure out how to make a giant vehicle move at this speed, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. The great thing about the AMGs is it produces so much low-end torque. If you have to pass somebody at any point in time, you just depress the throttle and you get all of that power handed right to you. Not to mention a brilliant soundtrack to go along with it. This G63 AMG SUV is definitely one of the best vehicles I've driven. It's so cool in so many different ways. This is one of the few vehicles out there that's worth every penny that it costs. No matter how much the auto industry is getting disrupted by electric vehicles, I don't think Mercedes will stop making this G-Wagon because it's just that good. Big thanks to Covert Buick GMC for letting me borrow this G63. It might still be up for sale by the time you're watching this video, so check it out. They're always getting really cool used cars in their inventory, and I really appreciate them letting me drive these things. If you're in the market for a used vehicle or a new Buick GMC, definitely look them up.